gear strength analysis. Okay, for the gear strength analysis, there will be question on the only on the bending part, on the bending fatigue analysis. Gear bending fatigue analysis, there'll be no surface fatigue analysis. So that was the deal actually by the coordinator. So that's it. So saya pun malas nak cerita panjang lah, nak argue lebih-lebih. Dia tak dapat point. Okay. I have forwarded. Okay, the issue is not on the topic covered. The issue is the student should be given some time for you to absorb and prepare. But he didn't get the message correctly, probably. So that is the case actually. Okay, so anyway, don't worry because should have enough actually for the in terms of the material. You just need to go through all the material example and probably try some of the exercises in the book or any related question that you can find from other sources. Abdul Mas, okay ke Abdul Mas? So, bersabar. We have 2 hari lagi. Still have 2 more days to prepare. Okay, and so it's going to be an open book. So you have all the example solution to be used to. Okay, so you just need to prepare everything by your side and know how to use all your sources. Message. Harzan, Abdul Harzan.
Ya, Doktor.
Kamu okey tak dengan last chapter tu on the gear?
Tu kena revive balik, Doktor. Sebab saya tengah revive balik bearing dengan
Rebel.
Revive belum lagi.
Belum lagi. Okay.
Gear dengan bearing baru.
Okay. So please go through. So there'll be 3 questions. Question 1 will be on bearing. Question 2 is on V-belt. Okay, and question 3 is on gear twist analysis, strength analysis. Okay, so for the gear strength analysis, okay, the question will be on the bending stress analysis, bending fatigue stress analysis. Okay, so yang surface punya the last yang sigma H tu tak ada lah. So there'll be not going to be in your test for surface fatigue analysis. Okay, on the gear strength analysis. Okay, so that was the deal by the coordinator. So he said we just not going to include. Okay, so that is the deal. Okay, so we'll give few more minutes to your friends to join. Shah Alam Selangor. Okay. Fakur Razi, family semua okay?
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
Okay, if you have any problem with the COVID stuff, okay, you can insyaAllah try to find clove, bunga cengkeh ya. And boleh ambil 1-2 hisap dan buat dia punya wok. And then, okay, so for early treatment, kadang-kadang you need to go to the hospital. Hospital pun dah penuh kan. So please read, find information because there are many information available. What you need to do, okay, and do it quickly. Fit your self. Okay, don't leave it just like that. Okay, so for today, berapa minit lagi ni? Okay, for today we plan to have, let's see. Okay, dah share belum? Allah, dah share belum? Ada betul ni, betul kan? Okay. Ni. Oh. Okay, let me share screen Okay, sekejap. Dah confused. Okay, soalan ni dah try ke belum Hakim? Ada siapa yang dah try ke soalan ni? Afiq, dah cuba ke belum? Anish,
Belum lagi.
okay. Okay, so this is soalan first question. So what happened is that for bearing, for the question related to bearing, they didn't normally the question require you to perform the overall analysis first. Okay, you have to find what is the cause and support the bearing.
Excuse me, doctor. We can't hear you.
Apa tadi? Can you say it again? Boleh nampak tak?
Boleh doktor. Cuma kami tak dengar yang tadi.
Tak dengar, tak boleh clear.
Tak boleh doktor cakap.
Okay, so let me see. Okay, so this is, okay, ini contoh example of question 1 from previous test. Okay, so okay, shaft, helical gear and bearings. Okay, so I mentioned on the bearing, question on the bearing, normally it will involve like some initial analysis, okay, on the support reaction at the support, okay, that you need to find before you get into the analysis on the bearing. Okay, look at this question. Okay, so you're given, okay, the shaft supported by angular contact ball bearing. Okay, angular contact ball bearing. So it is with the angle alpha equal to 25. Okay, angle alpha equal to 25 degree at bearing A. And roller bearing at B. Okay, so A is angular bearing and B is roller bearing. Okay, so carrying a helical gear with a tangential force of 3,980 Newton, radial force of 1770 Newton, and thrust force of 1690 Newton at the pitch cylinder with direction shown. The pitch diameter of the gear is 200 mm. Okay, so the diameter is 200 mm. The shaft runs at a speed of 800 revolution per minute, and the span between the direct mount bearing is 150 mm. The design life is to be 5,000 hours, and the reliability of the bearing set to be 0.95. Okay, so apa ni nak calculate the total reaction forces at A and B. Okay, so this is the initial analysis. Okay, so calculate the total reaction forces at A and B. So okay, based on the information, okay, so you ada apa? Satu at A. So at A, you should have angular contact ball bearing. Okay, angular contact ball bearing. Alpha 25 degree. Roller bearing. Variable is 1. Okay, so that is the question. Calculate the total reaction forces at A and B. Okay. So, okay, I will give you 10 minutes. Try to get what is the value of reaction at point A and point B. Okay, give it a try. And okay, we will ask our friend. Okay, minta Shah Latif lah. Shah Latif and Firdaus lah, Muhammad Firdaus untuk prepare, standby jawapan untuk nombor 1. Okay, Shah Latif and Firdaus for number 1. A. Okay, yang A tu calculate the total reaction forces at A and B. Kemudian yang B, assuming the radial resultant forces at A and B is 2170 Newton and 2654 Newton respectively, and thrust load is still 1690 Newton. Okay, tengok. Radial, select all suitable bearing at A and B given KA equal to 1.2, use table 14.1 bearing basic number. Okay, so B ni then you masuk. Okay, the question is on the bearing, the standard common question analysis involved for the bearing. So you are given radial resultant forces at A and B is 2170 Newton and 2654 Newton, and thrust load is still 1690 Newton. Select all suitable bearing at A and B given Ka is 1.2. Okay. What is the forces, the thrust force, the thrust load on the roller bearing? Afiq Abdul.
Ya tu.
What is the value of the thrust load for roller bearing?
Plus was 100, 1,900, 690 Newton.
Itu for roller ke for angular bearing? Alamak. Sorry.
Itu untuk ball bearing tu.
Ball bearing. Okay. So for angular bearing berapa? For angular pula. For roller.
For roller 0.
Yes. Okay. So remember, roller bearing there is no thrust. Okay. So that is the thing, the point that you have to remember. So roller bearing, there is no thrust load. Okay, so the load for the thrust load is only for the angular bearing. Okay, so please remember that. And okay, alamak ada gelangan. Tak nampak kan? Sekejap saya masuk balik. Saya dah apa ni, still have some issue with my handphone ni dah, so insyaAllah I'm going to look for new handphone soon. Mana saya nak buat ni? Okay, good. Stop sharing. Start sharing. Start now. Buka lagi. Buka poin. Hilang. Okay, so saya nak kamu try dulu. Kemudian after half an hour we'll share the jawapan dan solution nanti. Okay, so minta Firdaus dengan Syah tadi untuk A. Kemudian B ni minta Afiq Abdul dengan siapa volunteer? Nak try. Nak share dia punya ni. Saya tengok markah. Ini markah yang tinggi sikit untuk test. Saya tengok siapa. Syazwan ada Syazwan. Syazwan nak masuk ke?
Ada sini doktor.
Syazwan try. Syazwan. Minta Syazwan
Okay.
try soalan B dan juga Afiq. Okay, untuk B nanti kita minta tolong share Syazwan dengan Afiq. Okay, so itu dalam half an hour lah. Okay, we'll give you half an hour. Kemudian yang nombor C, if the shaft is 30 mm diameter, recommend the best bearing at A and B and explain your reason for the choice. Okay, ini kita minta apa lagi ada? Saya nak tengok sikit. Kita minta Lokman Hakim and apa lagi dia ni? Lokman Hakim dan Fahmi. Fairul. Lokman Hakim dan Fairul. Okay, Lokman Hakim and Fairul standby untuk part C. Lokman Hakim, Lokman Ahmad, Lokman. Okay, so okay, yang lain please give it a try juga. Okay, so this question I need to alamak. Apa? Okay, ada soalan sebelum kita boleh apa, you try. So I will give about 40 minutes for you to give a try, and okay, by the end of the class, okay, by the end of the day you need to submit for question 1 ni. Syah, boleh ke Syah?
InsyaAllah Dr. saya try Dr.
Okay. Okay, so I will you are allowed to leave the session for 40 minutes. So sekarang 8.30. So pukul 9.10 we will get back, okay, and share the answer. Kemudian I will discuss and make sure semua dapat, and then prepare. Kemudian we'll go to another question, the other test, and then we'll go to the question lah. Okay, so give it a try and we'll come back at 9:10. Terima kasih. FZB, FYA 1716. Okay, 1716.67. FYA is good. FYB is good. Okay, kemudian F2A pula, sorry, FZA. Okay, the FZA 1326. Okay, that's good. FZA is good, 1326.67 Newton. And then we have FZB. FZB is 2653 Newton. That is good. Okay, and then calculate the total. Okay, the net for FA and FB. So FA is, so you just square the 1326.67 square plus 1716 square. Okay, that's good. So you get 2169.56. Okay. So that is for reaction at A. Then reaction at B, you have 2653.87. Okay, so that is good. Okay, so thank you, Syah. Amirul Syah. Alamak, mana pula saya poin.
Doktor lupa nak mute. Unmute doktor lupa unmute.
Okay, sorry. Yes. Siapa yang dah siap boleh share, especially assign to Firdaus, Afiq and Syazwan. C. Fairul, Luqman. Share screen. Okay, mana? Tak siap lagi. Apa yang ada? Firdaus.
Kejap doktor, saya salah buat sikit.
Okay, yang lain. Siapa yang dah siap boleh share. Anyone?
Sekali lagi doktor nak cari jenis-jenis bearing.
Okay tak? Bearing tu. Aduh, sorry. Okay, siapa yang dah siap boleh share dululah. Okay, kemudian so untuk tu apa? Taman Suaren dah siap ke? Taman Suaren. Taman Suaren buat nama tu kan. Assuming the data A and B is 2170, dia bagi 2170. 265 Newton. Password is 1690. Okay, so remember cari FT and FR dulu. FR is given 170. FT from the question 1690. That is your FT. Okay, ada yang dapat tak? Siapa yang dapat? Okay, Tanis. Thank you, Tanis. Okay, so you're given, they ask you to find angular ball bearing, alpha is 25 degree. Check FR dengan FT dia. So FR is given. FR is 2170. Okay, FT daripada soalan you have 1690. Okay, that's good. Okay, check for FT, you get 0.779. Okay, 0.77 ada. Kalau pasang. Okay, that's good. Kemudian dapat dia punya FE, tengok. FE is on the second equation. 2170. So you get 2356 Newton. Okay, that's good. 2356 Newton. Then you're given KA. KA is 1.2. C required. Okay, the KR value. KR value is 0.6263. Okay, that's fine. 0.63. 25%. Okay, and then find L. L is 2.4. L is 2.4. L. Okay, 2.4 times 10 to the power of 8. Okay, that's good. L is good. 5,000 times 800. Okay, the RPM and times 60 minute per hour. That's good. Okay, you get 2.4 times 10 to the power of 8. Okay, so calculate the C required. C required 4.393835 dapat. Okay, tak apa. That is fine. In my answer 4380, you get 4.3 4359 different. Okay, so C required is good. 4.359. Okay, so C required. Okay, based on C required. Okay, check your table. Selected bearing 4.75. LO7. Okay, number one for L series, LO7 is good. Okay, bore size 35 mm. Alright. Kemudian for 200 series, 206 is right. Bore size 30 mm. And then for 300 series is 304. Bore size 20 mm. Okay, so that is the right answer for angular bearing, alpha 25 degree. Okay, so next one, roller bearing. Okay, so roller bearing, bearing B, FB is equal to RB, which is 2654. Okay, so 2654, we find the FT over FR. So FE is 2654. Okay, that's right. FT is 0. Okay, calculate your C required. C required is 4.9. Okay, that is fine. Okay, 4.9 kilonewton. And then the answer for roller bearing. Roller bearing. Apa ni? 1000 series. Roller bearing. 205, 204. 1000 series tak ada 25, 20. 1000 series. 1000 series. 1200 series. 200 series. Okay, so ada yang 14.2 punya ni untuk jawapan saya ada. 14.2 banding capacity is what? 4.9 Newton. 4.9 Okay. Tanesh yang tinggal ni 1000 1000 extra light series. Apa kosong?
Tak tahu doktor.
Oh tak. Okay, the answer, so you just check kan. So you have 4.9 tu, next to 4.9 is 7.2. 7.2 kilonewton is correspond to bore size of 40 mm. Okay, and then you refer to 40 mm punya bore size. 40 mm punya bore size. For roller bearing, you will get LO8. Okay. So untuk roller bearing for L series, okay, 1000 extra light tu is supposed to be LO8. Okay, so LO8 with bore size of 40 mm. That is for B. C26. Diameter C. Apa lagi hantar? Shazwan, okay. Shazwan punya answer. Okay. Shazwan. Okay, so 1690 to 170, okay. Okay, FT over FR is good. Okay, dapat 2979. 2979. 1 plus. Okay, Shazwan, please be careful, tengok calculation. FT over FR, okay. Kemudian FE tu lebih tinggi sangat, 2979. Supposed to be 2356.
He used the long equation.
The long equation, okay, one.
He used the one with 0 degree of alpha.
Okay. 0 degree alpha. Okay, so 2.35. Okay. Okay, so salah equation tu Okay, Shazwan 0.87. Betul minus. Okay. Okay, so tengok. Okay, be careful. Don't use the 0 degree punya. You're supposed to use the the 25 degree punya. Okay, 25 degree punya equation. So okay, that is the, remember, okay, please double check, jangan tersalah pilih equation. So Shazwan dia ambil yang 0 degree punya. Okay, so supposed to be 25 degree. Okay, the rest should follow. Okay, so that is the one, okay, thing that you have to be careful. Roller bearing okay tak? Pun sama juga. Ni silap
Doktor, ke slide ni salah doktor? Saya ikut dalam slide ni.
Dalam slide tu dia apa?
1 tambah 0.87 FT over FR tolak 0.35.
Dalam tu untuk apa tu? Itu zero bearing. Untuk 35 degree.
35 degree.
Ya. Tu kalau makna dia tu silap lah tu. Okay, so just double check.
Okay, nanti saya double check lagi.
Okay. So just double check, mungkin silap dekat slide tu. Tak perasan macam. Okay, tak apa. Okay, so the main thing, okay, make sure you are following the right table dan write equation. Okay, the rest should be okay. Okay, tak apa. So yang B pun sama. Ya, tengok B punya. So roller bearing. Roller bearing ni betul 4933.6 Newton, 4933.5 Newton. Selected bearing LO8 betul, 206. Orang dapat 206 TO4. TO4 betul, 205, 206 tu. Jangan terlebih pula. Okay, so please be careful. Should be 205. Jazuannya.
Doktor, table 14.2 memang kita guna untuk semua walaupun dia reliability dia beza-beza besar.
Ulang balik.
Table 14.2 tu kan dia tulis revolution left with 90% reliability. Kalau ikut soalan 4.93. Ini guna semua lah.
Ya.
Okay.
Okay. Cuma apa tu yang so based on kamu punya yang for the 200 series tu based on 4.9 tu should go for 205 kan. Dapat ball size 25, kamu dapat 30. Okay, kamu dapat, kamu silap tengok agaknya. Okay, should be 5.5 correspond to 25 ball size. Okay, dan go for 205. Okay, yang B, yang 206 tu silap. Okay, should be 205. Okay, thank you Syazwan. So ada yang apa, yang last shaft diameter. Shaft diameter. What shaft diameter? If the shaft is 30 mm diameter, recommend the best bearing at A and B and explain your reason for the choice. Shaft diameter 30. Bearing A. Mana? Lokman. Ada tak jawab? Fairul. Shaft diameter dia bagi 30 mm. Recommend the best bearing at A and B. Check A and B. Which one is best? 304. Bearing A 304. Check dia punya shaft diameter. 304. Yang C ni okey tak? Ada boleh faham tak dapat C macam mana? Lokman dapat tak? Lokman and Farul. Okay, so this one you can check lah. What is the size of your DS? What is the DS value for all the different series tu yang available? Stop sharing. Nisha, okay tak Nisha? Nisha Wonderful, okay ke tak okay? Saya pun dah pening juga. Aman tak dengar Tak ada. Aman dengan Fairul. Okay, soalan C. If the shaft is 30 mm diameter, recommend the best bearing at A and B and explain your reason for the choice. Okay, so you have to check the available series. You have bore 35 for bearing A. For bearing A, you have LO7, 206 and 304. So you have to check in table 14.1 the value of your DS. Okay, for example, LO7, you will have your DS value to be 40.1. 40.1 is more than 30, so it's not the right choice. So you have to check 206. The 206 series, bore 30 mm. Okay, the DS value will be, DS value is 36.8, which is more than 30 juga. So it is not suitable. And then you check 304. 304 series will give you 27.7. 27.7 DS value. So that would be your choice. Okay, for selecting 304 series 304 for bearing A, and for bearing B you check juga what is the value for bearing B, what is the best choice. Nisha dapat tak Nisha? Apa lagi ada? Saya dah terkeluar agak ni. Abdul Muaz dapat tak? Abdul Muaz dapat apa? Yang untuk bearing B berapa? Series, which series? Series apa dia punya jawapan? Which one is the choice? Untuk shaft diameter 30 mm, the roller bearing, which series you should choose between the three? Daripada jawapan tadi ada LO8, 205 and 304. Which one is the choice, the right choice for bearing B? Fakrul Razi, okey ke Fakrul Razi? Hakim, dapat tak? Firdaus, Khairul, Abdul Muaz dapat apa jawapan? Dah dapat belum? Please check, tengok apa dapat. Nisha. $205. Kenapa $205? Berapa dia punya DS value dia? For $205? $30.5. 30.5. 30.5. 30.5 dah lebih 30. Dia tak boleh lebih 30 tu. Okay, untuk selection, check the table, make sure the value in the table should be less than 30. So you are given the shaft diameter 30 mm. So in the table, the one that we check for the best series, okay, that series must be below 30. So kalau pilih, so if you choose the 30.5 tadi, so the answer would not be the right one. Okay, so not the right. So if you check bearing B, for bearing B, you should use or select bearing 304 series juga. 304 series. Boleh ke? Muaz? Muaz? Okay, so that is
Tengok
for...
value dah tu.
nampak? Dapat tak?
Kena ikut value yang DS ke DH ke apa?
DS, because that is the diameter of the shaft. Okay, dia bagi value of the shaft. So for the selection, so you have to check the DS value, the small DS. Untuk for bearing B is a roller bearing. So go check DS value, which is the value that is less than 30. Okay, so the value with less than 30 you check is 25.9. 25.9 for 304 series tu, you get DS value of 25.9. Okay, so that would be the right selection. Untuk bearing B, you should use 304 because the DS value is 25.9, which is less than 30. And if you check for LO8 berapa? Dia DS value.
$45.2.
5.2. Tu salah juga tu. Walaupun besar juga. Okay. That is for ball bearing. Check untuk roller bearing. Berapa roller bearing dia? For roller bearing. Bearing B is roller bearing. So you cannot check for ball under ball bearing.
45.7.
45.7. Okay. So thank you. So please be careful. Okay. So tengok, check betul-betul whether it is a ball bearing or roller bearing. Okay. Even though both are still more than 30. Anyway, the right value for LO8 is 45.7. Okay, which is more than 50.
Doktor, macam mana nak pilih ball bearing ke roller bearing?
Dia mention, bearing B tu dia mention it is a roller bearing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so please tengok, baca betul-betul. So remember, roller bearing ada table dia, so please refer to the roller bearing table, and roller bearing, okay, should give you only the and dia ada only the radial force. There is no thrust. Okay, thrust load tak ada for roller. Remember the characteristic of roller bearing. There is no thrust load. Okay, so see. Okay, that is for first example. Okay, now please try the second. Tengok second punya pula. Second question.
Doktor,
Ya, ada soalan lagi.
macam mana kita nak tentukan DS tu?
Oh, DS tu,
Ah,
apa yang DS tu just okay, based on the given information, dia punya soalan C tadi kan, they mention that the shaft size is 30 mm. Okay, so the shaft size given 30 mm. So based on that 30 mm, you have to check, okay, from the option you have from the question B tadi, you have 3 series. Okay, for example, for roller bearing, right? For roller bearing, you have the 3 option. Okay, for example, by siapa tadi, Tanesh kan? Tanesh and Shazwan. Afiq dah siap lah, question 1B. Shazwan ni tadi pun, tadi yang apa? Yang bawah tu silap sikit. Okay, for selected bearing tadi, for ball, this is for roller bearing. Okay, question B, you have LO8. Okay, kemudian for 200 series, 205, supposed to be 205. Okay, dan 304. So these 3 series is the option, the choice that you can select, okay, for the use of your bearing. Untuk bearing B, okay, bearing B is mentioned that bearing B is a roller bearing. Okay, so you have these 3 choices. So you need to check what is the DS value for these 3 series. Okay, so LO8, check LO8, pergi dekat table 14.1. Okay, check LO8. For LO8, you check DS value is 45.7. 45.7, kemudian 205 you have 30.5. Kemudian for 304 series DS value dia is 25.9. So comparing the 3, okay, you should understand that you have to select the 304 series, because that is the series that has the DS value to be less than 30. Okay, you tak boleh ambil kalau you're using the bigger value, meaning it's going to be dia
tak muat dalam shaft tu. Macam tu.
Tak muat dalam shaft tu, dia betul tak muat dalam shaft tu, dan dia akan loading tu lari lah. Okay,
Okay.
based on required tu. Okay, so that is the step. So please remember, try to understand carefully. You should be good to answer the question later on. Okay, so please tengok betul-betul, carefully check which table to use, ball bearing ke, 0 degree ke, 25 degree, or the roller bearing. Okay, so Afiq ni okay tak? What do you get, Afiq? Question 1B.
Yang ni saya cari yang roller bearing dulu, baru cari yang ball bearing.
Ya, roller bearing dulu tak apa. Okay, roller bearing dapat berapa? FT. Roller bearing 0.64. Okay, Afiq tengok, jangan lupa dia punya unit tu, make sure betul. Okay, so for roller bearing FR is 2653, okay, 2654, okay, that's fine. 2654. Okay, so FE equal to FR, FRB, so dapat, okay. Okay, 4.93 kilonewton. Okay, ni tepat betul, 4.93. So 20, 25 and 40. Okay, that's good. Okay, so just follow carefully, dan okay, based on table 14.1, Okay, you should use TO4, 205 and LO8. Okay. So tulis cantik-cantik sikit Afiq. Nanti saya pun tak boleh faham.
Okey doktor, sebab saya ni nak laju.
Tu TO4 tu nampak macam tak nampak TO4 dah. Okay, for B 0.78. Okay. Okay, 0.78. Okay, betul. Okay, FE value. Okay. 2356. 58. Okay, that's fine. FE 2358. C required 4.38 kilonewton. That's good. Based on 14.2, 35, 20, 30 and 35. Okay, so okay, suitable bearing TO4, 207, LO7. 204, 206, LO7. Okay, that's good. Okay, so tengok boleh je dapat. Okay, so carefully check and use the right table. Okay, and select the right series. The rest, insyaAllah, you should be good. Okay, now. Okay, test 2. Okay, next question ni. A spur gear C transmit power to a pulley.
Doktor,
Ya.
Muiz dia tanya apa kat mana nak dapat markah test 1
Test one saya belum share lagi.
Okay.
Nanti mungkin lepas dan kita end of this week sebenarnya saya akan belum complete betul lagi. Okay, so don't worry. Just focus now insyaAllah on your test 2. Okay. Hopefully you can perform well in test 2 too. Okay, tengok this question. Spur gear C transmit power to a V-belt pulley A via shaft ABCD rotating 2000 revolution per minute. Transfer power with moderate shock. Take the lowest value. The shaft is supported by 2 bearing B and 1 bearing at B and 1 bearing at D. The belt tension F1 for 50 Newton, F2 200 Newton. The gear forces given F3 to 1200 Newton, F4 700 Newton. The system will last until 25,000 hours and both bearing has 98% reliability. Compute the radial load acting at the bearing B and bearing D respectively. Okay, so the total radial reaction force at the bearing B is 950 Newton and at bearing D is 850 Newton. And bearing D is also designed to support the thrust load of F5, 580 Newton. Determine all the suitable size of the roller bearing and angular ball bearing for the shaft problem. Design the suitable size of bore, OD, WRDS and DH for shaft and housing at bearing B and bearing D. Okay, so this is another good question. You boleh jawab ni dengan baik, insyaAllah you should be good for test on Tuesday. Okay, so okay, siapa volunteer untuk jawab soalan ni? Ada A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Okay, will yang sign sikit lah. Baik, rejoin. Aduh. Okay, sorry. Saya dah off pula. Okay, so this is the question. Ada 3, 1, 2, 3. Number 1, compute the total radial load acting at bearing B and bearing D. Total load. Kemudian total radial reaction forces at bearing B is given 950 Newton. Bearing D is 850 Newton. Bearing D is also designed to support the thrust load. Bearing D support thrust load. Okay, determine all the suitable size of the roller bearing and the angular ball bearing for the shaft problem. Okay, so bearing apa dia? Bearing B dan bearing D. So bearing D ada support thrust bearing, thrust load. Okay, so kemudian the third part, design suitable size of bore, OD, W, R, DS and DH for shaft and housing at bearing B and bearing D. Okay, so you just need to select which series. Okay, so we would like to request lah, we request, apa boleh tolong? Number part 1. Hakim Rafi'i. And Hakim Rafi'i and Hussein Amon. Shahar. Okay. Part 2. Part 2 Aminah Amin. Amin dan Aminuddin. And Nisha lah, Nisha Wonderful. Part 3 apa tadi? Nuhanani and Antamir suara dah keluar. Nuhanani dan siapa yang belum lagi? Harzan part 3.
Ya, dah.
Harzan Nuhanani part 3.
Doktor.
Ya.
Sorry, Doktor, I have a class at 10.
Oh, ada 10?
Ada kelas pukul 10.
Kita ada kelas pukul 10.
Okay, tak apa. So you just try on your own. Okay, nanti I will share the solution. Kemudian the first question tadi, please complete and submit. I need to see your work. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. We'll see you again and terima kasih.